Unfortunately, hi, aloha everyone. It's Kamaile with Wellness with Mana, and I am privileged and blessed to lead the call this morning. So I'm so excited to get started. Unfortunately, I still haven't figured out a way to stream it live to the Facebook, and so with my setup. So we'll just post the replay once we get this up and posted. But welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Thursday morning, and this is where we all come to just honestly, just to be in each other's presence, to just breathe, to really set our day off, in the right direction, and listening to some of the training. It's so beautiful that we have so many new contributors on board, and that our team is continuing to grow. They're continuing to see all the beautiful let me see if I can mute everybody. If everybody just wants to make sure they're muted, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, great. And as we continue to grow, all of even the fun of answering all of the same questions over and over again really makes to help us all proficient. And the end goal is that everybody just keeps moving up to the front of the room and starts to really lead their own home meetings and their own calls, and being the third party, as you have learned and listened over time, over and over and over again, you start to become a little bit more proficient in how you like to explain it, and all the beautiful ways that it has enhanced your life and your the people around you, and etc. So we have such a gift to give. And so it really, I was going to talk today about the power of third party calls, but as I was meditating on it last night and this morning, it just came to me on a whim, because I was preparing that in my mind. Like, wow, no, I think we should really talk about the art of inspiration. And so I'm going to dive into that now. So it obviously, I speak to myself, I speak to all of us. I know that all of us, in speaking to all of you, have struggled with one aspect of staying inspired and being the one to inspire. And whether or not that is an inspiration for a post, or an inspiration like this morning I had to inspire myself to get motivated to go for my walk before I started my day, getting inspiration up just to do your IPAs, because IPAs are income producing activities. So we don't want to do this all for naught. We actually want to inspire to make money, right? And that is part of the end goal to achieving some of our dreams, and a lot of the reason why we said yes to the business aspect of things. So but it also is about inspiring others to greatness, and how we can evolve into that leader that we are helping to not only wake up to inspire ourselves, our children, our own daily routines and habits, but also to be in a place of position to where your habits are just so they're so solid, if you will, that you lead by example, and you become a walking inspiration, as well as can voice your inspiration to others, so that we're not all carrying, my little story about network marketing is that we're carrying water from point A to point B, from down the hill to up the hill. And if we all just ask a friend, hey, can you carry a bottle of water for me, there's a pizza party at the end of the day, or let's not say a pizza party, but anyway, I'll buy lunch at the end of the day. Once we get all of the water up there, it's like when we take the load off of everybody, and it becomes a party all the way up, and at the end, like, what better occupation can we ever dream of? So inspiring our readership to action, to, to actually purchase, to buy. That is something that we definitely constantly revisit as we, evolve within this business as well. And so, we're always looking at that. So let's look at the word inspire. So inspire is a verb. It says to, excuse me, to affect, guide, or arouse by divine influence. So I've heard it as in spirit, so to fill with enlivening or exalting emotion. So I love that one. To stimulate action, motivate, or encourage. So let me just mute Renee real quick. Mute. Okay, perfect. So I want you all to take a little journey with me, and we're going to go ahead, and I want you to just remember a time. You can close your eyes, you can keep it open, but remember a time that you were just starting out on a new path, and whether or not, it's right now in your life, but you were, it was it was a time in your life where you were like excited to work on your dream, or you had goals, and or there was a big vision that you had, and you were really, really excited about it. You can kind of almost feel the angst in your chest right now. You can kind of feel the butterflies going on in your stomach, um, each time that you think about that time in your life where you set out to, um, I'm going to mute you, Maile, one moment. Okay, there. Um, so we're in that we're in that place where we're just like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm about to birth a baby. And maybe it was that time in your life where you were just newly pregnant, or just newly married, perhaps, or maybe it was that time in your life when you were young and you just graduated high school and you felt like the whole world was in front of you, and there was just so much excitement because you're just like, okay, I'm going to go learn, I'm going to go do, maybe heading to college or heading to your dream, job or whatever. I'm going to make a difference in the world. Once I start making money, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get the car that I want. I'm going to have the hip swanky clothes. I'm going to look fly. It's like, you're going to look good, walking into the world. Maybe it's, my passion is my home. It was just like, maybe you have a really stylish home that you envision, and you're like, I'm gonna get that cool, awesome chair, that is sweet couch, so that I can have people over and surround myself with my friends. And you're just excited about that moment in life where you're emerging upon your dreams, and there's just all of that. So sit in the love of that. Sit in the fact that not only are you excited right now, but you're also scared shitless. Sit and revel in the fact that it's like you are almost like, oh, like, I am woman, here we roar, I am man, here we roar. And you just want to like overcome all of the naysayers, including the one that it loops in your own mind, and you're like, I am going to do this. So all of that was actually preceded by a place and time, whether it was told by you, in form of real life stories that you witnessed, that of things that were possible, whether it was a romance that you saw was possible and you wanted that beautiful family life that you are now embarking on it for the first time in your life, whether or not it is just something that you read that intrigued your mind and set you up for success for what is possible. That feeling, that place, those moments, all of streamed in time, are all points of divine intervention and divine inspiration. And that feeling that you're just like on the precipice of something huge and big, and that excites you but yet scares you, that's like the fire that we talk about, that we want to stay in when we are engaged in our business and our world. And how do we harness that? How do we malama that? How do we hold that as a baby, as Deb explained on a call the other day, to actually utilize this gorgeous tool within us, that inspires us and excites us, into action? And how do we keep that, right? Because life happens all the time to us. So that is the question, is how do we graciously move into that each and every day? It seems almost exhausting to think like, oh my gosh, I got to get to that place. Like, and no, we don't have to reach that excitement and that place of inspiration. But there are little tidbits along the way that we can do to not only keep ourselves inspired, keep our audience and our clients inspired to engage with us, but then also to inspire our growing team as we really start to, build people, both in those that are buying from us, but then those that are wanting to also feel that feeling and see the vision and want to create more for themselves or their family in regards to all aspects of life, right? Because when we're healthier, we're feeling better, when we are being rewarded for our efforts, especially financially, we tend as a human race to have the capacity to give more when we are in a place of receiving more. So all of that is really, truly the gift that we have, in this business. So I kind of put some of the thoughts that I've learned along the way into my own words, and I wrote them down. You're welcome to have a copy of what all of this is. But one of the things that I thought stood out in my mind when I was reading about giving inspirational talks was that we not only want somebody to be like, yeah, when we go to the convention, we don't, we want to be like, wow, that was so good. I took away this and they really touched my heart and I'm feeling the passion. I want to, call somebody right now or, reach out to somebody right now. But we want that inspiration as a speaker to follow our audience so that it constantly is resonating with them, and they're given instruction along the way and little hints and little tools that they can tuck into their belt and remember you as a speaker or the message that you wanted to actually pull out and use time after time after time. So we're motivating ourselves and others to actually put all of our information into action, right? So some of the highlights that I wrote down for keeping ourselves inspired, and this goes back to our typical training, is to know your why. When you know your deep why, and you go layers deep, well, why do you want that house? Well, why is it important that you care for your family? Well, why is it that you're so emotional around the fact that you need a house for your family because you didn't have one? Whatever it is, like, get to the deeper why, because I kid you not, more times out of not, that why of why you do things just in general in life and who you are and what motivates you stems from the stories and the memories and the experiences that you've gathered into your brain and all of your cells and all of your being, to make you up into what you feel is real and tangible and has purpose. So you've gathered all of these stories, and to know what that underlying story is for you, maybe that was a painful story and maybe it motivates you to what you do now. So revisiting your why, not every 3 to 4 months, revisit your why on the daily. And sometimes that's actually expressed in the way that we say, move with inspiration, right? So and daily intention. So when you revisit your why, like, what are you doing today and why are you doing this today? Why are you reaching out? Why are you inviting to this call? And sometimes if the tool, or the what you are, the message that you are getting at, based on your own inspiration, maybe something that you've learned, maybe something that you've read because you're putting back into yourself, something that you were inspired by. Sometimes knowing your what first can often spark your daily why. And the daily why, the accumulation of those daily whys can often lead to your bigger overarching why. So, and then taking action. I kid you not, I am a victim of this. And sometimes I just get so in my head, or life just keeps hitting me. And I'm like, well, I've got to do this, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do this. And it's just like, no, if I just do what, and that's what my next point is, just do what makes me feel good first and foremost in my day. And that might be a walk, that might be a meditation, that might be reading. When I feel good, then I moved into action. And then when I'm feeling the momentum of the action, then I'm actually moving into my bigger task. And I know that one of Sarah McDermott's favorite quotes by, oh gosh, I forget his name right now, her boyfriend, I call him, is eat the frog first. And, sometimes doing the hard task will actually be the one that motivates you, because you're just like, rah, yes, I accomplished that. But if you're doing it on the daily and you're exuding all of that, energy and emotion, and that becomes a trigger, like, wow, I don't have that emotion, or I don't have that thing, then start with the thing that makes you feel good in your body, that will create. And oftentimes that's moving your body, get out and move your mind, move your body, move something, clean something, so that you're clearing space to allow for that. Brian Tracy, thank you, my main squeeze, yes. And that will allow you to move to the frog. And when you start on a high note of what makes you feel good, and then you end on an even higher note to, like, yes, I just ate the frog, which is totally gross to me, but anyway, I just ate the frog, I conquered it, like that actually triggers not only endorphins going on in your mind, but it also triggers a loop pattern, a synapses that actually is being rewarded from the endorphins, based on the action that you just took. So it's like, you go for a walk every day and you're feeling good, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, I feel like I have more endurance now. I can maybe pick up the pace or start running, or maybe I need to start doing hills. Like, your momentum starts to grow and grow and grow. And that whole cycle really moves us into being, keeping that stoke alive, keeping yourself inspired. And we take inspiration from blah 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 explanation of it. It's something that's divine. So maybe going back and feeding your face for the morning, and starting your morning off with a devotion, or meditation, or something that really helps to lift your spirit up. That's when we can really truly stay in that state of inspiration, and be like, and even if your inspiration is like, I got up and out the door today, and I got dressed and put on a cute top, like, let that be a micro win. And that's my next thing, is to celebrate. I so suck at celebrating my wins. My friend said the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't get to my, my business, and that makes me feel good when I get to my business. And I was just complaining of all the things that I had to do. And she goes, excuse me. She's like, did you not just paint your house? Did you not just clean up, for 2 days straight? Did you not just, exchange and do this and that and the other thing? Did you not have to, blah, 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 blah. She's like, you are a badass, and you need to celebrate those wins. And I was like, oh yeah, like, high five. Mel Robbins said the other day to literally put a sign on your mirror, and you can do this. I'm asking you to do what I'm telling you to do, which is put something on a mirror. This is a call to action. put a little thing on your mirror that, that says, high five, I'm proud of you. And high five yourself in the mirror every single morning for the next 21 days and see how that feels in your body and in your soul and in your business. So that is key is to really celebrate our wins, because outside of our business, we are amazing human beings doing amazing things. And the more I talk to each and every one of you, I'm in awe of all of the things that you do, that you've learned, that you've come through, that you that you hold a million plates over your head and still have a smile on your face and encourage and inspire others. It is truly something to celebrate. So, okay, this is what I'm constantly trying to figure out, and it's inspiring your audience and or your clients. So some of the things that I took in and that I read is to actually know your audience. Knowing your audience means you got to know yourself, which goes back to you got to know your whys. You have to understand those, especially in our business, in the way that we leave hints along the way for people to pick up on and to just really consume and to eat and hopefully be inspired by, right? So take time to get to know the people that you're engaging with on social media. Like and comment, and take a mental note of what's going on in their lives. It doesn't have to be in social media. Take note of the people that you interact with on the daily, the people that are servicing you in your favorite restaurant, your favorite coffee shop, your favorite store, whatever it is. Take note of the friends that you gather with, and maybe that you're listening in to some of their daily, excuse me, pain points, listen in for the pain points and take note of them. It's not always the right time to have a conversation right when they mention it, but the perfect time will feel right to you and your body and your na'au, or your gut, as you will, and your heart. And when it does come up, you will be inspired to share the right information that will hopefully inspire them to move and to see that vision, how they can move from this pain point, point A, to now point B. And so we're guiding them to this action. And one of the things that I had you do earlier on in the conversation in the talk this morning was to actually remember when. So whether or not you're sharing, in person, and Jamie pointed this out to me the other day of something that he read, and it really stuck with me. Remember, so when people ask you, what do you do? Well, and you kind of go into story form. Remember when you used to be able to get up, dance, do all your chores, get the kids ready for school, drop them off, then, have a night out with the girls, stay out late, go dancing for a birthday celebration, and then have a few hours sleep and then get up all over again. No aches and pains. You were happy. You were just on time. Remember when your body didn't feel the repercussions of blah, blah, blah. Well, now that we're 40 or now that we're 50, our bodies may not be responding in the same way, and you get them moving in an emotional state with you, going, yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, we were having fun. Oh yeah, I do wake up with some aches and pains. Or maybe something about them. Remember when your hip didn't hurt and it was just so nice to go surfing and you didn't have to ice every single time you came out of the water? Remember way back when that was a time in your life where you didn't have to worry about what pain meds you were going to take them to that point. Well, I have found a way that I can help you to possibly get out of that situation and back to where we were when we were, before this time of the pain, or before blah, 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 blah. So guiding them emotionally through your story. So it might be something that you want, or interesting enough, I read something that said, when you guide them, when you know your audience really, really well, and you want to speak. So this morning there was something about MFTR, right? MFTR. Anyway, the gene mutation that deals with infertility, etc. So not only am I going to, research it and find facts about it and things like that, but who wants to be like spewed to, and then who's going to take in all that information? But if I can actually gather that information, but really know and then speak to them in a story, like, or share a testimony that comes out in a story, either in person with them, or if I'm speaking to a specific person on my social media platform, but to the masses, I can now speak to that one person. It becomes emotional to me, and hopefully my audience emotes with that as well. And so it becomes something that becomes important. And now maybe it doesn't really to them specifically, but it now relates to somebody that they know, or somebody's story that they heard, and now they can say, wow, this really touched my heart. So we want to know our audience so well that when we're speaking to that one person, or even that maybe we want to actually touch their heart or touch their story without being invasive into like, hey, I can help you. We then personalize the experience for all of our readers. So with, again, through stories. So guiding them, just remembering that it's not about us at all. It's not about us proclaiming our knowledge. It's not about us saying what we have, even though we have something amazing. Sometimes it is about us and our story, because we want to be the example. We want to be the change, right? But it's certainly always our messaging in talking to people always want to be about them, about the other person, and to help them to really imagine and envision the life without maybe that problem that we're trying to help them to solve. So it's essential that you paint a picture of what your audience life looks like now and what they want it to look like in the future. So if you can help them to engage in what that looks like, feels like, by asking them questions, pertinent questions, even if this is social media and you're asking them questions in your storyboard to get them engaged. Sometimes, like Nina's question the other day, when's the last time that you've done something for the first time? That was a really deep question for a lot of people that a lot of people couldn't answer, because maybe they don't celebrate their wins. Who knows, or maybe we live so much in the comfort zone, that we don't actually push ourselves to the edge anymore. Who knows? So, and then lastly, you guys, is inspiring your team. So as your team grows, and as we have Kuleana to helping to lift others up and keep them close to the fire. I love this quote that I found: if you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather the wood, divide the work and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. So when you can, inspire them to really hold on and to connect and to see their own vision of where they're headed on their ship, and what it looks like to bring others on. How is it going to look when they have to be the ones that are giving, the third party, reviews now, encouraging them all the way along. And maybe that could be as simple as just sending them a loving message, like, hey, just thinking of you. How's everything going? Funny memes are always great. I love that Kristen always sends our Wahoo leader profiles and up team little memes every Monday, to kind of Monday motivation to keep us going. And sometimes they're funny, an inspirational quote, just to let them know, hey, you're thinking about them, because life happens, right? It happens to all of us. But what we want in a leader is, we want our leader to stay on the ship, to lead the ship, to care for the others that are on the ship so that they all arrive safely, right? But we, every now and again, as we're holding on to the life raft in the back of the ship going, life's happening to me, we want them to look back and go, hang on, and say, we love you, keep hanging on. And then when they're strong enough, or when the seas start to calm down a little bit, and you can actually have strength and the manpower to pull them back in and closer and on board again, because life has changed for them, and that that they know that the whole time they were loved, they were seen, they were heard, and you just standing in your position of seeing where your ship is going is a direct inspiration of how they will follow when they are the captain of their ship. So I hope that helps you. I have a bunch of other stuff. It's some of the things that I took from an article is when you're speaking to your audience is educating, be the example. I think we talked about all of these. Experience, get them involved in the experience. Be enthusiastic when you are inspiring, you know, enjoy the process of life, get them laughing, get them emoting, get them experiencing your like passion for it, but get them seeing it through your lens instead of you preaching to them. Motivation, like, you know, ask them the right questions. What do you want to do? What do you want to aspire to? You know, when do you want to jump out of that airplane? You know, like, you know, what is it that you want to do that it's so big in your life, but you're so scared shitless of that you want to do? And, you know, maybe just being around your enthusiasm will motivate them to want to know and grow more with you as a person. So, and then of course, all of that ties into how we're inspiring them. So yeah, that was about the gist of it, of my talk. But if anybody has any questions or any thoughts on inspiration alone, I'm inspired by all of you each day, but happy to discuss. But that was, I was practicing on being the leader and being the inspiration and not always looking to others to inspire, but to show up, to stand in myself and present. So, and you will all be here too. Yay, love you. You guys, anything else? Yay.
That was beautiful.
Oh, I love you. Oh yeah, that would be my other thing. Call a friend. Call a friend when you need to be inspired, because that always helps. Hi. All right, people weeples. We will get this. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Ahui ho.